since we don't have the media, we don't have education, we don't have entertainment, it will never be anyone's fault other than ours. And that's why you have Mitch McConnell saying from the get-go, no, we're not going to shut down the government, we're not going to default on the debt, because he wants to calm the masses and leave an open space there that he is a reasonable negotiator. And later, if he is forced to shut down the government or default on the debt because of the other side, he will try to blame the other guys, but you realize that it'll be McConnell's fault for not negotiating, because understand that to Obama, and if it's Obama's perspective, it's the media's perspective, and it is the conventional wisdom, negotiation means agreeing with him.
But see, that's the difference. If we can show that we've been in good faith trying to pass bills, and that's what we've been doing. Excuse me,
We've been doing it forever.
No, but those bills didn't make it to his desk. They didn't make it to his desk. Harry Reid shut those things down. It was a situation where none of our stuff got to his desk. We didn't have Obama come out and reject these bills, veto them. That's not what happened. Sorry, Fishy, what you were going to say?
No, I was going to underline what you're saying, because that was the quote that we talked about last week, that the president hadn't been sent anything he didn't like to be signed because Harry Reid wouldn't allow that. Now he's going to get things on his desk to sign or not sign. And that's an action that does or doesn't happen, that has to happen in the Oval Office. And Mitch McConnell's response to that is, we have sent him, now that Republicans are in charge of the Senate, we have sent him bill after bill. We have sent him option after option. He refuses to look at any of them. That's a message you might be able to work better.
Exactly. And then when something that is a piece of legislation gets vetoed, and probably several pieces of legislation will be vetoed. If I'm the president, I think that I'm going to be vetoing a lot of things, just because ideologically that's where I am. I don't know how skilled he's going to be on this in the handling of this, whether he's going to moderate as the years go on. I don't know. But if he vetoes a bill, and as Fishy said, that's an action, the American people will be aware of it. And it's not just something that the media can plaster over. It's not something that you can just easily, wipe it away. We've done something. We've put these bills on your table, and if they aren't signed, it's on you. Go through that process, and if we have to come to the standstill where we've gotten nothing through past Obama because he doesn't want to do it, and we don't have a veto, we aren't going to have a veto-proof majority. We don't have that right now. So if we get to that point where he's doing absolutely nothing and nothing is getting done and he's being the obstructionist and we can paint him as the obstructionist, then we can absolutely go and say, all right, if you want to be an obstructionist, we'll play ball. We're going to be the obstruction. We're going to go into a government shutdown because you've shut down the government. You did.
Yeah, no, I don't say that we're going to play ball. I wouldn't even phrase it with us having
our
hands
obviously.
on
I'm sorry.
That was... But that is a good point, is that Republicans now, one of the first things they should be doing behind closed doors, and the piece we talked about at the beginning of the show makes me think this is happening, more likely happening, is talk about the answers to that. They should be wargaming. There should be a war room in the Senate, in the Republican side, where they are gaming nonstop all of the answers, all of the kind of things that are going to come up, and what their response should be, so that everybody's on the same page. That's what I hope comes out, based on what I've seen for how we got them into office.
Because when the Senate starts passing, the House has been passing bills that Obama would never sign, and when the Senate starts doing the same thing, and those bills that the House passed, the Senate never took up, and we tried to push back against that and blame it on Harry Reid's obstructionism, but that was turned back on us and has been turned back on us for the last 6 years, because the House is doing things they know aren't going to be open, that the Senate isn't going to vote on, so the House is wasting the nation's money and being frivolous and not being cooperative and all of these things. So it's the House that gets the blame for it. And now it's going to be the House and the Senate that get the blame for doing things that they know full well Obama's going to veto. And our only hope is that, yes, the GOP is in there wargaming these arguments, because those are the arguments that they're going to have.
The expectations that people should be setting about this is that Obama will not sign anything and that he will do exactly what Leslie has said and tried to frame it that way. And every Republican needs to be schooled in the art of selling a bill with a personal story, just the way that Democrats have perfected for years and years, and with appeals to broad common sense, so that most people would look at the legislation and say, how could he not sign this? That is the strategy, I think, for everything that the Senate and the House want to do. It should be framed with stories, it should be framed with a common sense appeal, and it should touch on so much touch on the American people in general that are not paying attention that they'll be completely befuddled as to why the president wouldn't sign something. That's your positioning. I don't know. And honestly, I think setting expectations is really important. And when you have Ted Cruz out there setting expectations for people who are not paying attention to the broader picture, then it could be a problem. And if you have McConnell setting lower expectations that he tends to overachieve and people don't recognize that, then that's a different kind of problem.